All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to set to go. So if you could mind, please take your seats. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media and honored guests. My name is Mark Knight. Welcome to Unifor Local 444 for the announcement of the 10th Annual WESPY Awards. We're really excited about this. We're really glad that everybody was able to make it. We've got some great news for you. You're going to hear about that in just a little bit. But first, let me give you a little bit of information for those of you that aren't really aware of what the WESPY Awards are. The WESPY Awards started 10 years ago as a vision by Mr. Dominic Papa to celebrate sport in the Windsor-Essex County area, and it has grown into the event in Windsor for sport. The athletes, the accolades that go on, the teams, the awards, it's all about them. It's not about the award ceremony, it's about what sport is doing in the Windsor-Essex County area. We're very fortunate today to have one of our nominees. Her name is Rhonda Marcos, and she is the second-ranked female mixed martial arts fighter in the UFC, and she is nominated for Athlete of the Year. Rhonda, thank you so much for being here today. It just goes to show 5 years ago, UFC may not have been a part of the WESPYs, but it's a sport that's growing worldwide, and it has got a footprint in Windsor-Essex now. So the WESPY Awards has decided to make that something that we're going to recognize. It's about the sports as they grow. Sports will come, sports will go, competitions will come and go, and the WESPYs want to be a part of everything that's going on in sport. And we've been very, very fortunate these last 9 years to be a part of the celebration of sport in these athletes' minds and in these teams' minds. The athletes leave with a sense of accomplishment. They have an award, but they can go on and say they were something in their local area. We don't often see that enough. We wait till the nationals, we wait for the provincials, we wait for other things to get recognized, but it's important to recognize who we are, the grassroots of sports in this area, and that's what the WESPY Awards are all about. To tell you a little bit more, I'm going to invite up the founder of the WESPY Awards, Mr. Dominic Papa.
I just mentioned to Mark, he stole all my thunder, what little thunder I have in talking about the history of the awards, how it's all progressed, and where we're at today. Hard to believe it's 10 years. And as always, we're always looking to make it better each and every year. I think we're going to accomplish that again this year. Can't say enough for the work that goes in behind the scenes, the people that make it happen. There's groups, sponsors, partners. We call them partners because without them this doesn't happen. And to them I want to just say a big thank you. Central Park Athletics is also one of our presenting partners, James and Leanne King. They've been incredibly supportive of the awards, much like Unifor Local 444. Unifor Local 444 has been with us 10 years. They came on as a sponsor right away. There's others that have been with us for 10 years as well, Stuart Fisher and Associates, Investors Group, people like that. Also, St. Clair College is represented here today. The University of Windsor, Windsor Minor Hockey, and the Windsor AAA Zone has also been with us for 10 years. So that, to me, tells me that we're doing something right because they contribute, they're willing to help us, and obviously they're happy with our work to come back each and every year and help us out with it. So again, without those groups that I just mentioned, and again, some of them are here. Dean Lapierre is here from Windsor Minor with his gang. Mark Bolio's here from J.P. Thompson, who's been a big supporter. All these groups are so important to us, and we just thank them so much. Also, there's the people behind the scenes. Of course, even today with this small production, we call it a small production, but we were here at 8 o'clock in the morning setting up, Christina Stoikovsky and Steve Bell from WeTV, just the remarkable work that they do all the time. And of course, WeTV will broadcast the WESPYs live. Our other big media partner, of course, is AM 800 CKLW Radio. Keith Chinnery and Steve Bell is here from AM 800. They've been on board with us from day one. We're the only event that gets simulcast live by CKLW. So again, it tells me that we've done something right to get their acknowledgement. Blackburn Radio is here as well. They've been very supportive. The Windsor Star has been a great media partner for us. We've been very fortunate to develop a lot of these relationships, and again, the reason why the WESPYs is what it is today and 10 years and going strong is because of everybody that's just been mentioned through the media, through partners and sponsors, through our production crews, all of that. So just want to say a big thank you to all of you. Hopefully we'll get a big crowd again to the 10th annual. We're going to change things up as we do every year with the awards. We try to make it a little fun, try to make it a little different each year so that people will not get the same things all the time. And I can't say enough about the speaker that we have. Mark will introduce him in a few minutes, but our speaker this year continues the great names that have graced the WESPY stage over the first 9 years. And I want to give a shout out to Newport Sports Management and Patrick Morris for helping me put our keynote speaker together this year. Again, I think it's a huge feather in our cap, and I think when people hear this gentleman at the night of the WESPY Awards, it's going to be a lot of fun with him, actually, and he's a very prominent name in the sport of hockey, so we're very excited about that. So again, I just want to say thanks for coming today. This is great to see all of you. You're all friends and partners in this event. Without you, it doesn't happen. And hopefully we'll see all of you again on Monday, April 13th, out at the Kubota Club of Windsor. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Dom. Now I have a new pet name for you, and I mean this in the nicest of ways. Little Thunder. That's him. Boy, he's got the thunder going, I'll tell you. Well, as Dominic mentioned, we want to thank Unifor Local 444 for allowing us to be in their building for this press conference, and they've been a partner for 10 years. And at this time, I'd like to invite up the first Vice President, Mr. James Stewart.
Thanks so much. First, I'd like to say we're extremely proud to have this announcement broadcast here from our local Union Hall. I can say that we're extremely proud at Local 444 for this is the 10th year, as Dominic alluded to, that we're in partnership with the WESPYs here in Essex County. I can say that this partnership for us is about helping the youth and the students, athletes in our community achieve not only their goals in sports, but their goals in education and life more general. So on behalf of the officers, the executive board, and most importantly on behalf of our members, I'd like to congratulate all the nominees, the winners, for the hard work and dedication that goes in to making sure that Windsor stays a prominent in the world of sports. And secondly, I'd like to thank Dominic Papa and the committee from the WESPYs for all your hard work, because without that work, we wouldn't be where we're at today, and Windsor wouldn't be in the forefront. So congratulations to you, thank you, and please keep moving this forward for years to come. Thank you.
Thanks very much, James. Well, I've noticed that Dominic and James have avoided saying the name of our speaker, and we're working diligently to get him on the phone right now. So it looks like he may be here. So I'm going to be the one to share with you. If you haven't moved along in your press package yet, you may not know, but let me tell you first, right here at Unifor Local 444 in the city of Windsor, the 10th Annual WESPY Awards, as a guest speaker, will welcome Mr. Chris Pronger. Chris has had a very storied, illustrious, sometimes not so illustrious career in the NHL, and I'm sure Chris is going to tell you a little bit more about that. Love him or hate him, he has been a stalwart part of the NHL with the St. Louis Blues and with the Philadelphia Flyers. So we have him on the phone. Chris Pronger, welcome to Windsor. We've got a bunch of people in our room that would like to know what you think about the 10th Annual WESPY Awards.
Well, it's a tremendous honor to be invited. There's been a lot of great players before me and celebrities, so I appreciate the invite and looking forward to getting
Don't you just love technology?
Me? Hello? Can you hear me now? Are we having technical difficulties?
Okay, Chris, welcome to Windsor. Can you hear me? All right. Well, Chris was born on October 10th, 1974 in Dryden, Ontario. Born Christopher Robert Pronger, and he made his debut into the hockey scene as a 15-year-old in the Ontario Under-17 program and signed with the Stratford Culletons Junior B in the OHL in the 1990-91 season. In May of 91, Chris joined his brother Sean at Bowling Green State University in the NCAA instead of opting for the OHL. Regardless of his pre-draft indications, he was selected 6th round by the Peterborough Petes in the OHL priority selection. He later reported to the Petes and played 2 years in the OHL before being selected in the 1993 NHL entry draft. Originally selected 2nd overall by the Hartford Whalers in the 93 NHL entry draft. And this is kind of funny, I don't know if it's in here, but selected first was Alexander Daigle. And Alexander Daigle made the statement after being selected first that he's really happy that he was selected first because no one remembers who was selected second. I'll bet many of you in this room don't know who Alexander Daigle is or was.
Are you able to hear me?
The hockey people will, but most people know the name Chris Pronger. So Alexander Daigle, thank you for that little bit of information. Chris played for the Hartford Whalers.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
There we go.
11.
All right.
12.
Okay, Chris, we can hear you now. Thank you very much.
Oh boy, can you hear me?
Yes. How's the weather in St. Louis?
I'm sorry?
How is the weather in St. Louis?
The weather in St. Louis is getting a little bit better. It is supposed to be 50, 55 the rest of the weekend, which is nice because it's been very cold and snowy here.
Yeah, we're the same, and we're supposed to get that 50-degree weather in a couple of days. Welcome to Windsor.
Perfect.
We've got a lot of people in this room waiting to hear the wonderful thoughts that Chris Pronger is willing to share with the 10th Annual WESPY Award Press Conference. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
No question. It's your turn, sir.
I can barely hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, Chris, let me ask you a question and we can get things rolling. You've been out of the hockey world now for a couple of years, and I understand you've been doing a little bit on the speaking circuit. How's that working out for you?
I've done a few events. I've tried to kind of, since I got hurt, I've tried to kind of stay under the radar and just work on trying to get healthy and hang around, be around with my kids and help raise them and give my wife a little support and some time off. But feeling a little bit better and able to kind of get out and about and do a few more things and my agent brought this one to me, and it's certainly a great event and one that I wanted to be a part of. So, I was definitely happy to help out.
When can we see you full-time in the Department of Player Safety?
I started full-time in October. Basically, the game one, October 8th, was my first day. And it was, a fairly seamless transition as a player that played a little bit on the edge. I had been in front of at the time just the hockey operations department, but I've been able to. I think the players were doing me a little favor by taking it easy early in the year and allowing me the time to kind of catch up to speed on the rules and the various degrees of, penalties, warnings, fines, suspensions, and things of that nature. And it's been a lot of fun, and I'm able to kind of do some other things, with respect to the GM meetings and Board of Governors meetings and things of that nature to kind of see how things are done from the inside out. So it's been a great learning experience and looking forward to it continuing to be.
Well, thanks, Chris. We have a few members of the media here that I'm sure have a few questions for you. So anybody that has a question for Chris, please come on up to the microphone, state your name and affiliation, and Chris would be happy to answer your questions.
Hey Chris, Bob Belichico from CTV News. Just curious, what will we be talking about that night? What will be your message to the kids and to the adults in the room?
What was the first part of the question? I missed that.
What will be your message to the crowd that night?
I'm sorry, we got a bad connection.
Yeah.
So
What will be
talk
your
slow,
message to the crowd the night of the WESPYs?
I'm still not hearing the question.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, we're going to work on that. I'll say it one more time. Bob Belichico from CTV wants to know what your message will be when you speak at the WESPY Awards.
Okay, there we go. All right. What my message will be? Well, I think the, with sports and I'm a huge proponent for especially youth sports. They need to be fun. They need to engage the kids, and I think we as parents, I'm included in this, have to realize that the game is meant to be fun. It's meant to be to grow teamwork and leadership and discipline and working with one another, working for one another, and that whole team concept, I think, sometimes gets washed away sometimes when all we're trying to do is win and everything becomes about winning. As we continue to grow and develop these young children, and as they get into their teen years and on, I think it's important and vital that they understand what it's like to be in a team environment, to learn discipline, and in today's world, we're so much about fitness and eating healthy and training properly and all those things. But I think it starts with a base at a young age of whether it be teachers, coaches, parents, sending the right message to the kids. And I'm a big proponent of allowing kids to develop, and they need to learn how to fail to be successful. They need to feel that sense of defeat in order to push themselves to feel that euphoria of winning. And you know, I think if you were to ask every single person who has ever excelled in whether it be sports or business, there's always been a failure at somewhere down the line that has either given them a crossroads of, all right, do I quit because I just failed, or do I pick myself up and brush off the dirt and go try again and see how I do and push myself to be better and push myself to excel and be the best I can. And I think a lot of times people quit too early when they're challenged and when they fail. And you know, I think a lot of the people that receive these types of awards are people that have failed and dusted themselves off and pushed themselves even harder. And you know, I think that's, you know, one of the main messages I'd like to get across.
Well, that's a great message, Chris, and I think the young people in sport can never hear that enough. And you speaking to them about that will help hit home and help them to become better athletes. We have another question for you at the microphone.
Christine Lapierre, President of Windsor Minor Hockey. Playing in Bowling Green and in Peterborough, how would you compare the two when you were younger?
Well, when I get asked that question a lot. My brother played at Bowling Green. You know, I went to Peterborough, two separate routes. You know, I think at the time, you know, there was no internet. There was really no information out there other than word of mouth, and everybody's going to be jaded on whose opinion is being given. You know, for me, it was the right move. I was planning on going to play college hockey and follow in my brother's footsteps. And I just took a little side trip to Peterborough to kind of see how it was, and had played in the All-Ontarios that year with a bunch of players that had played in the Ontario Hockey League, and felt like I matched up pretty good against them. And you know, I think I just wanted to test myself and see where I was and see what the competition level was like. I was going to have to go back for another year to Stratford, and after having participated in the 48 hours in Peterborough, I felt like that'd be a step back, and you know, was able to work out a contract with Peterborough and ultimately went. But I think with today's game and the amount of information out there and all the knowledge that, you know, players are able to come across, I don't necessarily think there's a right or a wrong way. Everybody's going to find the right fit. I think for those kids that are peaking or excelling at a younger age, whether it be, you know, 16, 17, the major junior route may be better. And for those, you know, we'll call them late bloomers at 19 or 20, but I don't know if they'd be considered that. But the kids that haven't quite excelled at that pace, you know, might be better off playing, whether it be U.S. development program, USHL, and then off to college for a couple of years. And I know a lot of the pro teams like having their players play, you know, into their 20s, you know, 21, 22, and they're able to develop and you know, train and come out more prepared for the grind of a National Hockey League season.
Thanks, Chris. We have one more question for you.
Hi, Chris. Mike Vlasfeld here from Blackbird News here in Windsor, and I just was wondering what you think about, you know, how important it is to honor those who make sports happen in communities like Windsor, Essex.
Yeah, I think, you know, community sports are, you know, as you look at tradition and history and all those things, you know, I remember growing up and, you know, it was just our little town. We got to the local communities, you know, once or twice a year to play kids from other towns around the area, but it was always, you know, in your community and, you know, in your little area, and you know, you got people, you know, the volunteers and the people donating their time and giving up long hours to help sacrifice and allow kids an opportunity, a better opportunity to get better and enjoy the sport. And from that, you know, as they get to enjoy the sport, they gain a passion and a will to get better. And they start realizing that they might have a future, or maybe they're just using it to as an outlet for whatever. And I think community sports and community related events are, have been the fabric of a lot of towns and cities over the, last, 100 years or 150 years. And, I don't see that going away. I just would like to see it, not become such a business, so to speak, and be all about the community a little bit more.
Thanks, Chris. We have one final question. Bob Belichico is back.
All right, Chris, I'm back. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
sorry,
you
what
can
you
hear me
say?
now. All right, here we go. Question of the day. We got to talk hockey a little bit at least, right before we go. So who do you think is going to win the Stanley Cup this year? Your Blues are doing well in St. Louis. Who do you like?
You know what? I'm sorry, you were breaking up. What was the question?
Chris, the question was,
It's
who are
just
you
me.
picking for the Stanley Cup this year?
Oh, who am I picking for the Stanley Cup? You know what? As a director of the Department of Player Safety, I would just like to see every series go 7 games.
No, Chris,
And,
no politics. You're in a room and we're not going to tell anybody what you say, so tell us the truth.
Yeah, sure. I've heard that one before.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, we'll ask you again when you get to Windsor. I want to thank you for taking your time on the phone with us. All the people in the room really appreciate you taking your time. I look forward to spending a little bit more time with you and getting a chance to hear you and see you face to face. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Pronger. Thanks,
you.
Chris. We'll see you in April. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here at Unifor Local 444. We're getting ready for the 10th Annual WESPY Awards. The nominations have been finished, and we are looking for a huge bumper crop of talent again this year. I want to thank Rhonda Marcos for being here to help us celebrate our 10th annual. Thanks again, everybody. It's been a great day so far. We've got a light lunch for you for those of you that can stay. And remember, if you can't be at the WESPY Awards on April the 13th, you can watch them live on WE TV. Thanks again, and have a good day.